Hi guys, it's Fox, and for this month's Patreon Speedpaint, I decided to do a voiceover so I can talk about my process and about the character. So diving right in, as you can tell right now, I'm working on the sketch. I zoomed in so that you guys can actually see what I'm doing, which means that unfortunately the quality is a bit pixelated, but it gets better as I zoom out, so hopefully y'all can bear with me for the time being. So you guys picked Vesperion in the poll, and I'm actually really excited about that. That's kinda who I was hoping you guys would pick because he is, at the moment, my favorite romance option. I'm very partial to the enemies to lovers trope, and that is kind of what his entire character was created around, was for me to indulge that trope, which you can kind of indulge that trope with the other romances, depending on your relationships, but not quite to the degree as you can with Vesperian, since he starts off hating you, which is because, his aunt was Alifarin and your mom, Isonia, is accused of having killed her. Now, I have moved on from the sketch to the color comps. With the Ethereum piece, I had a very limited color palette, and I really enjoyed that, so I decided to try doing that again this time because, well, one, I enjoyed it, and two, that way when you see the two pieces next to each other, they look uh, cohesive. They look like they are from like the same set, if you will. So I'm just testing out some color palettes, and you can see to the side and below that I have some set up. I'm just picking ones I think might work for Vesperian, who is very warm toned. His hair is very warm. It's a warm brown, and so I'm trying to pick warm colors that I like and that suit him. The first color comp I just kind of shaded very with only normal layers. But the second one, I went in and I made the shading softer, so I decided to go back and redo the first color comp the way I had done the second one. And I still really like those color comps. I don't actually wind up picking either. I do four, and it's the fourth one that I end up choosing. But doing all the color comps were just a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. It was probably my favorite part of working on the piece and something I definitely plan on doing again. So as you can see, I have started on the fourth one, which is the one I decided going with, but I altered the colors a lot as I'm working on it because there were some elements I really liked about it and some that I just didn't like, so I decided to tweak it, and I wind up again using my own colors instead of one from one of the color palettes you see below. And here I brought up the fan piece just so I can make sure that the oval behind Vesperian is the same shape and size. Because again, I want them to look like they're part of a set, that they're cohesive. And here I have blown up the color comp, and I try painting over my color comp, at refining the sketch, which is something I've done before, but it is very time consuming, and I just wasn't happy with the way it was working, and I didn't like the tools I was using. So while it was fun in the moment, I did go back and start over and start doing it the way I did the Ethereum piece, which is where I block in the colors and then I add details later, um, which is my preferred way of doing things, and I feel like it's a lot easier and a lot quicker. And here you can see that that's what I've started doing. Uh, and This is actually one of my favorite parts, is working on the hair as a silhouette. I don't like drawing detailed hair. I don't think I'm very good at it. So I kind of cheat a little and just draw a silhouette with all the little flyaway hairs and everything, which I think looks pretty good. But I do try to keep the lines a little bit because I want to make sure that the viewer can see just how swooshy and curly his hair is, because that's a very Vesperian thing. I've always kind of pictured his hair a little windswept and like he's been running his fingers through it. And so I wanted to make sure I captured that. I also wanted to make sure I captured his bored expression and his distaste for the main character, which I think I did pretty well with the sketch. But it's around this time when I start rendering the piece that everything kind of starts falling apart on me. I wind up not very happy with the final piece, but I'm not sure how to fix it, and I don't feel like I have enough time to fix it. So I just did what I could, and there are some elements I do like about it, but as I get further and further into rendering the piece, I start to dislike it more and more. And eventually, you'll see that I use a liquify tool to distort the image, to warp it, and try to fix some of the errors I thought I was seeing. But in the end, it wound up, I feel like, making it worse. Like some of the errors that were there, I feel like were fixed, but I feel like it also created a lot more. The background was also quite a struggle. It was easy with Theron because it was a sunset. Because that was the colors, it was very easy, but I didn't know quite what to do with the Vesperion, so I kind of went more abstract. And I'm kind of disappointed in myself because I feel like I could have done better, but I'm on a time crunch and I'm a little sleep deprived. So it got to the point that once I started getting so frustrated with the piece, I kind of gave up. And I'm really disappointed in myself for that. But I do plan to try again later, maybe come back in a day or so and refine the sketch. And I'm pretty sure this won't be the last time I draw Vesperion. I'm sorry to end the video on such a low note, but the first half of the piece I had a lot of fun working on, and I'm really, really looking forward to learning from my mistakes here and bringing what I've learned into my next piece. And I should have the poll for next month's romance option up in a few days or maybe a week or so. And I'm really excited to see who you guys choose. I'm really excited to work in that piece. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video and getting a bit of a peek into my process. If you guys want, I can start uploading work in progress pics of the art I'm working on. I know that's not quite why y'all decided to pledge to me, which, again, thank you for that. But I'm hoping you guys might enjoy the insight. And who knows, maybe y'all can become more involved in the process and maybe even help me pick out color palettes or poses or what to do with the background. If that's something that interests you guys, please let me know. Again, thank you for all your support, and I'll see you guys next month. All right.